good evening rather. I would like to welcome you all to our first parent meeting, our Microsoft Teams and Seesaw Parent Workshop. It is presented by two of our amazing kindergarten teachers. I will let them, I will say their names and I'll let them introduce themselves a little bit before they start. We have Miss J and Mr. Stevens, and I'm so grateful for them this evening for doing this workshop training for us. Just to let you all know, this will be recorded. Um, Please remember to mute your mic when not asking a question. Please sign in using the chat function. Drop your first and last name, as well as your student's first and last name, as well as their grade in the chat. And please feel free to post any questions in the chat. It will be monitored during the presentation. And our agenda for this evening, we have our welcome and sign in. And your sign in will serve when you drop your first and last name in the chat and your student's first and last name. And the meeting tonight is a brief overview of some of the remote learning tools that our students have been using and that names that you have become familiar with, I'm sure, in your household. So we're going to have the Microsoft Teams overview presented by Ms. J. And then we're going to have a Seesaw overview by Mr. Stevens. So I'm going to unshare my screen so they can begin their presentation. Okay.
All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, Brookview parents. Welcome to the Microsoft Teams session. My name is Miss J, and I am excited to share with you the different ways to log into Microsoft Teams and some of the basic features of Microsoft Teams. If you have any questions for me after the presentation, feel free to email me at joksimovic@fultonschools.org. Now, what is Microsoft Teams? Microsoft Teams is just part of Fulton's subscription for the Microsoft Office 365 bundle. It is an online class. Now, the first question you probably have is, how do I log in? You have 3 different ways you can log in. If you are not using a Fulton County Schools provided laptop, please open up a web browser, preferably Chrome, that works best. Go to launchpad.classlink.com/FCS. Then you will land on this page. And this page will change periodically depending on the season. Right now it looks like this. The first section is the username. You type in the student ID number. And then the second section, password, which is defaulted to their birth date, their month, the date, and the 4-digit year. Unless you have changed it, this will be the default.
I just want to chime in here that even though she has those forward slashes, those don't go into the password.
It will help reset it for you. Once you put your information in, click on the blue Sign In tab. Once you sign in, your page should look something like this, where you see a lot of the different apps that are available for your student, for your child. Just scroll down until you find the Microsoft Office 365 app, and it's right here in the red. Once you click on the Microsoft Office 365 app, you will open it and you will see the different apps that are available within Microsoft Office. You just click on Microsoft Teams. So once you click on the Microsoft Teams icon, you will land on this page. You have 2 choices from here. You can first get the Windows app that makes you download the app onto your computer, and you won't have to log in each time. It will take you directly into the Teams. Or you can use the web app instead, and that works just as fine if you do not want to download the app onto your computer. If you are using a Fulton County School provided laptop, just click on the Windows icon on the bottom left. Then in the list of programs, you click to open Microsoft Teams. You'll need to log in the first time, and you will use the student email address, which is the student ID number, and then just add @fcstu.org, and then put the password in. It will be the same as the ClassLink password. Now, if ClassLink does not work, you have a third option. You can log into Office.com and click on Sign In. And once you sign in, it's the same thing. Just enter the student ID number @fcstu.org. The example is 1234567 @fcstu.org. Password again is same as ClassLink. So those are the 3 different ways you can log in to ClassLink on the computer. You can also log in through a mobile device. You can download the Microsoft Teams app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you log in the same way using the Fulton County School email address as previously shared. Now those are all the different ways you can log into Microsoft Teams. So after you log in through the computer or a mobile device or whatever device you have, you will land on the Microsoft Teams page. On the left side, you will see a list of the different teams that your child is a part of. They might have a homeroom, they might have a different specials team, they might have a reading team, a math team, but they will all be listed on the left side. So make sure you click on the team that you need first. Once you find the team of the teacher that you need, just click on it and you will see the different channels that the teacher has. Every teacher will have different channels, but everyone will have a general channel. The ones listed under there, those are extra channels that I created, but all teachers should have a specials channel and an intervention group 1 and 2 channel. I've added a meetings channel so that parents can find my meetings, my live meetings, a little bit easier. Another part of Teams I would like to point out are the tabs on the top. Now these tabs may or may not be under your students' teams because teachers are able to add and delete them. But the general tabs are right here. Posts is the first one. Posts is where teachers will post information here, announcements, anything that they want that pertains to the class. Now I blocked mine out here in yellow, but you will be able to see whatever the teacher posts here. There's also a Files tab where teachers will drop in files, PDFs, documents, anything that the students might need for class. There is a Class Notebook tab that some teachers may or may not use. There's also an Assignments tab. The assignments are where teachers push out some assignments. Teachers are able to see if the students looked at the assignment. They're also able to see if they completed the assignment. So this is a good tab to see if your child has finished. Teachers may or may not use the grades tab here, but that is also available. Now all of this is mainly for 3rd through 5th grade because K through 2 mainly uses Teams for meetings, and I'm going to talk about the meetings next. Actually, before I talk to you about the meetings, I wanted to show you what it looks like if you go under the Assignments tab. So you can see there are 2 things, the Assigned section, and that will show you what the teacher assigned to your child. And for this example, everything was turned in. That's awesome. And then you can also see the assignments that have been completed. So the name of the assignments, and there will be a check mark if your child has finished it. I also wanted to point out the grades tab. If you click under the grades, you'll see your child's name right here where it says name. You will see the due date of the assignment. You will see the assignment name. You also see the status of the assignment, if it was returned to the teacher, and also how many points your child has received for that particular assignment. So I just wanted to point these two tabs out for you guys. And now we'll talk about the meetings. There are different ways to join a meeting. A teacher might send out the direct link to the meeting, and all you have to do is click on the link, and then it should ask you to log into Microsoft Teams. Or the teacher might tell you which channel to meet in, and then you can just join the meeting there. Once you join a meeting, you will see different icons, and depending on your version of Teams, your icons may be on the top like mine, or they might be on the bottom, and it's okay because all the icons are still the same. You'll still see the same icons. The first icon is the blue, in blue, the chat window. When you click on the chat window, you'll see a text area where you can type in a question, or if you have something to share with the teacher, or the teacher might even ask you a question and you can answer in the chat window. So if they ask you to do that, just click on the chat window and you can do that there. There's also the raise hand icon that I have in green. That feature, once you click on that, it lets the teacher know that you have a question, and once they get to a stopping point, they will stop their lesson and say, "Hey Johnny, looks like you have a question. Your hand is raised. What's your question?" There's also the video icon that's in orange. And if you see a slash through it, like mine is right now, that means my video is off. And if you do not see a slash, that means my video is on. So just keep an eye on that. Your teacher may or may not ask you to turn on or off your video. There's also the microphone icon that you see in purple, and it works the same way. You turn it on and off. You'll see the slash, meaning it's off, and we usually say mute. When the teachers ask you to mute yourselves, that means make sure your microphone is off and that you see the slash through it. If you do not see the slash, that means you are heard from everybody in the meeting. So the best practice is to enter a meeting with the slash, so you are muted. The next icon is the three little dots, additional menu items, and I will share on the next slide what the different menu items are. So when you click on the red section, the three little dots, the additional menu items, you will see these features, the device settings, meeting notes, and these are the different ways you can see the people in the meeting, a gallery view, the large gallery view, which is the top gallery. Then you have also the together mode, so it looks like everyone is together. So those are really cool. You can apply background effects, and you can even turn on live captions for when the teacher is talking. So those are some of the additional menu items while you are in a meeting. So that brings us to the end of my presentation. I hope you guys have learned at least one new thing about Microsoft Teams today. I just wanted to give you guys a basic overview of it and 3 different ways you can log in and some of the features that you may see through your child's Teams.
Before you
want to open it up for any questions that you guys might have for me. And if you don't have any questions or can't think of any right now at the moment, that's fine. You can always email me at joksimovic@fultonschools.org.
Before you do your questions, Miss J, thank you so much again for that presentation. I actually learned a lot, to be honest, as a parent also. So I appreciate that. I learned a lot. And I also wanted to thank those parents that just entered. Just wanted to let you guys know this is being recorded and we'll put it on our Class Dojo and YouTube page. So you just missed the beginning part, but Mr. Stevens is about to present Seesaw. So once again, we appreciate you so much for joining us this evening. And
We do. If there are any questions about Microsoft Teams, though, before we transition into Seesaw, please feel free to ask them now.
well, don't worry if you think of any. We are. I put Mrs. J's email address in the chat, and you can also email me. I'll put mine in the chat as well, and I will make sure those questions get answered for you by the right authorities. So I'm gonna put my email address in the chat as well.
All right, Mr. Stevens, if you would kick us off with Seesaw, that'd be great.
All right, well, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Got my PowerPoint up. Let's go to the slideshow. Seesaw. What is it? How's it work? What you need? Check it out. Those are my 4 main parts. First off, what is it? Seesaw is an online platform that allows teachers, us, to send out digital assignments for students to work on using various 21st century tools. That means Seesaw can be accessed through iPads, Android tablets, PCs, Macs, even your smartphone will work. The only thing that you have to have other than a device is you have to be connected to a service provider. That means you've got phone service through T-Mobile or Sprint or whatever. Or you have an internet provider. So long as you have a service provider of some sort, you should be able to access the internet and get to Seesaw. How does it work? Teachers upload lessons in a video format. So one of the things we'll do is we may be teaching simultaneously, where you'll see us teaching in the classroom. We're teaching both to the computer, essentially, or students that are connected to us live through the computer, and we are also teaching to our students in the classroom at the same time. Sometimes you'll just see us where it's after hours or it's on our break periods or some area where we don't have students in the classroom, and I might just be sitting at my desk recording a video strictly for the virtual platform. So you might see me teach in this video, and then right after that, there will be an activity that's attached to the Seesaw so that you can then have your student show their understanding of the material that was being taught. Students and parents watch those videos. We do want parents to also watch them so you kind of know what's going on. And then parents, you can help your students navigate the app or the website until they have a firm grasp, because they're, especially our younger babies, they really don't understand a lot of the tools or how to use the tools, how to even click on the tools in some cases. And for kindergarten and first grade and pre-K in particular, that fine motor skill of using a mouse is extremely difficult. So, you definitely want to be on hand when you are having a student do a Seesaw activity. Now, the upper grades, obviously they have those fine motor skills more down pat, and they definitely know how to use computers. So, not that big of a deal. But you still want to make sure that they're doing their assignments correctly, just like you would check your students' homework on a regular basis. I remember we had to check homework in when we went to the dinner table. So, before dinner starts, just go over and say, hey, did you do your assignment? Let me see what you did. there's also verbal instructions. So even if the students can't read yet, but they recognize letters or numbers and that kind of thing, there are verbal instructions. So if you teach them how to click on those verbal instructions, then they're going to be able to know what to do in the assignment. And if they know how to use the tools, then all they have to do is listen to those instructions, follow the basic steps, and they can do the rest of the assignment on their own once you've gotten them into that real, progressed way of doing things later. All right, so we have students complete their activities and submit them for their teachers to grade or assess, that kind of thing, and find out what's going on. What you need. You need your student ID. Now, Miss J already said what your student ID is that 2000 number. So it might be 2033 something or other. It might be 20000. But that's your student ID number. Their lunch number is a lot of times how they would describe it. And then you need your password, which is the date of birth. Now, something that I made sure that I said, I sort of interrupted her earlier, but on the password, be careful. A lot of parents have called me and said, hey, Mr. Stevens, I used the password that you told me, but it didn't work. And I say, did you put in the / when you put in their date of birth? And they go, yes. And I say, that wasn't supposed to happen. You're only supposed to put in the numbers. So it's a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and then a 4-digit year with no spaces, no / That is all it is for the password. Now that's to get into ClassLink, and that's why I have my next bullet point says you need to go to ClassLink and log in, and this is the link right here, https://launchpad.classlink.com/FCS. That will take you to our Fulton County ClassLink login page, which Miss J took a screenshot of earlier, and I'm going to show you in a moment. You might need to ask for your your student's teacher to provide a special code that has 16 letters. So if you don't want to, or you can't get from ClassLink to Seesaw, which has happened, then you might need to go to the Seesaw website. And when you go to the Seesaw website, you'll have to select that you're a student, and then it'll ask you for your login information. But our traditional login information isn't really necessary. We have a 16-digit code that works every single time, and that's all you have to put in, and it'll get you right into your account. So you just ask your teacher to generate that code for you and then send it out to you. Obviously, you need a device and you need a service provider, as I stated before. So let's check it out. Give it a second. And, oh, that's right. I have to unshare, I think. Can you see Seesaw at the moment?
Not yet. It still says let's check it out with the HTTP app.
Okay. Give it a second. Did it switch over now?
It's switching. Yep. We are here.
All right, cool. All right, so if you are having the student log in, right? Right now I have myself logged out. I'm not logged in anything, but if I were a student, I would click on this button right here, and you see where it says text code. This is where you input your 16-digit text code, and I've got one just ready to go. And I would click go, and it's going to log me right into the account. Now, I wanted to ahead of time, it's okay. Basically, you just click on the student's name right up here in the corner, and then you're going to see all of their classes. So like some of these classes, I don't utilize all these extras. I only utilize the one that says Mr. Stevens Kindergarten class because I didn't want to be confusing for anyone. Now, your teacher may have it set up so that they say all of your health assignments are in one, all of your social studies assignments are in another, and you can see them. They are labeled right there on the screen. When I first started out, it defaulted to the reading. So there are still some assignments in there. And then you see that there's an art kindergarten and a kindergarten music, and there's even a PE. And they have been putting assignments into Seesaw as well. So let's go over to my class real quick. I'm going to click on Mr. Stevens Kindergarten, and you'll see up here the icon changed, and so did the title page. It's changed over to Mr. Stevens Kindergarten class. And then if you want to see all the assignments that your student has done, you go over here to the side where it says journal, and you'll see all of their current assignments that they have completed and submitted right here. Whether they're graded or not, they're going to show up here if they have completed them. Now, if they have not completed them, then you're going to click on activities. That's right here. And this is also for when you're going to go do a brand new assignment. You're going to click on activities after you have gone into the class. Then you can select one of the activities from the list of the assignments. And there's a lot of different ways that we use Seesaw to set up our assignments, but essentially you're going to see this play instructions on every single one. You see that? It says play instructions on every single assignment. And the reason for that is because, like I said before, sometimes the kids are too young to read this stuff. We want to make it as accessible as possible. So if I were to play the instructions right now, and I don't think I shared with audio, but you'll see that I can pause it and I can move it back and forth. I can also do that from inside the assignment itself. So I'm going to show you that in a second because I don't want to mess with the student's actual assignments. All right. But let me also show you how to log out, because some parents have also told me that they don't understand how to get out of their student's account. And that's because it's up here. You see where it says sign out right here for the student account. You just click right there and you're out. All right. The other way to get in, of course, is through class link. So you would click on class link like I have here. You'd go into your actual class link and you're going to see all of the icons appear just like Miss J showed you before. And you're going to click on Seesaw. Give it a second. Here we go. When you find the icon that looks like a bunch of ribbons. So you're going to click on this icon. It'll take you into Seesaw. And it's automatically going to log you into your student's account. Now, and remember, I said if it doesn't do this for you, because it has happened where it doesn't automatically log you in, then you can get that 16-digit code and you can go in the way I showed you before, straight from the website. All right, so now here I am in my account. I'm going to go to a sample student, and I'm going to take a look at my activities. So let's see. We'll go to add a response for my sample student for this activity. And I forgot to read the instructions. What do I do, Mr. Stevens? Well, guess what? You can click right up here, and here's your instructions. So once you listen to your instructions, you'll see that it's wanting you to write a word that begins with the sound T. You're going to write your word. Well, how do I write, Mr. Stevens? There are tools down here at the bottom of the page, and you can see them. They kind of jump up when you put your mouse over top of them, and you can select them one at a time. You can either select your pencil and then select a color over here, or you can select your pen, and it's being a little slow, but you can select your color over here, and you kind of get the idea. It works for every single one of the tools. If you make a big mistake, and you know what? Let me go ahead and make a big mistake. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, poor! Just lost control and just messed up the whole assignment. What are we gonna do? Well, don't panic. You've got an eraser right here, and you can either erase with your finger if it's a tablet or some sort of a touch device, or you can use your mouse. Come right up here, and you can erase all this away. And there's actually, if you click on it again, you can see that you can choose the size of the eraser. Or you can just erase the entire board if you know that there weren't any actual things that they wrote on here prior to the mistake. And boom, we're back to a nice clean screen, ready to go for this assignment. So I might write tree. I'm not great at writing with a mouse. That's fine. It's fine if students aren't great at writing with a mouse. We want them to practice the writing itself. We want them to practice using their vocabulary and their writing skills and their knowledge of letters. And that's really all this assignment is about. So don't worry if it's not neat. It's really okay. You don't need to do it for them. We can tell. We don't want you to do the assignment for them. We want our students to do that. Now, if you're done, you're going to click on this check mark, and that's going to submit the assignment. But if you're there may be other tabs over here on the side that you need to click on to make sure that you do every page. Let's say that this assignment asked you to record yourself saying the word tree after you wrote the word tree. Well, then you would come over here to the side and you've got a microphone button. You're going to click on that microphone button and you'll wait a few seconds. You see, I don't know if you can actually see this because it is a flash player that starts. It turns a little red around the edges and there's a pause sign. It's now recording my voice over top of this screen. And as I speak, whatever it is that I say, tree, that's what it's going to record. I'll click the pause button again. And now I'm done with my recording. So I can click done. And you see the play button has appeared on the screen. Now all I have to do is submit my assignment. In the same way, if I need to take a picture of something, Mr. Stevens has asked you to take a picture of a tree. You just go over here and you click on that camera icon. I'll show it to you again right here. And it's got a photo, it's got video, and it's got upload. So let's say that the device that you're working on is a phone. Very easy. You go right up to the window, you take your picture using this photo, or if you need to record yourself reading the word loud, you could use the video camera and record yourself a little video. It's going to put it right onto the screen. I don't want to do that on top of this because I'm not trying to have my computer explode from too many actions. Another thing you can do, if it asks you to type something, and it'll always, almost always, we will say, it'll show you these little icons over here to the left. It'll either say for the label button, which is this T right here, it'll actually have the T in the instructions. For the microphone and for recording purposes, it'll always have the microphone. And then for video and for camera purposes, it'll always have the camera icon over to the left. Well, if you need to label something, look at that. It appears right there for you, and you can put your label right there on the screen. So, and that's another way to make sure that your student is writing things neatly. If you're that concerned, and some people are, then they can type it. We also have inside the instructions all of these icons as well. So if you're not sure, just go back to the instructions and you're going to see, you see it's got add response button. It has use the pencil. It has the label button. And oh, see, so Mr. Stevens didn't read the instructions. And then it has go ahead and submit the assignment using that check. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and submit that assignment, and we are done with our assignment. Yay! That is how your student should be using their Seesaw. And look, there's the assignment. It's completely up and ready for Mr. Stevens to come in and check on the work, to listen to it. I'm looking and I'm seeing, oh, they wrote tree and they typed tree. Very good. And then they also said the word tree in the recording. So, and I mean, that's simplified, but that was the whole point. All right. That is essentially my presentation for Seesaw. So if anybody has any questions at this time, go ahead and put them in the chat if you can't speak out, or go ahead and say whatever your question is for me now.
So, Mr. Stevens, there's a question in the chat. When recording with Seesaw, it has a horrible echo. What can be done to minimize the echo?
Okay, so it sounds like what you need to do is turn volume for your speaker. What's happening is you're recording and it's automatically playing back the sound that you're recording. So what you do is for my purposes, I would sit here and I would go down, and I can't really share this part of the screen, but over here on the right-hand corner of your computer screen, you're going to have that little speaker headphone button, right? You would click that and you would drag it down to 0, and it's still going to record your voice just fine. but then you can turn your volume back up when you're done with the recording, and you can play it back to make sure. I have had that happen, so that is something that does happen from time to time, and depending on the computer, that will work. That's the only workaround that I know of so far. Any other questions?
I believe they may be typing because I can see them typing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that might be me also. I'm putting our email addresses in for those people who just joined us. And thank you all again for joining us. I thank you, Mr. Stevens, again for your presentation. And thank you all parents for joining us, those that came in. And please don't worry, this is being recorded and will be posted on Class Dojo and our school YouTube page.
And I put my email right there in the chat as well, so that if anybody has any questions about Seesaw, you can also contact me. And yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Very informative, Miss J and Mr. Stevens. Absolutely learned more about Seesaw. And Microsoft Team, like I'm in it a lot, but now I really understand all of the tools the kids get to use.
Yeah, I really love the tools that they have in Seesaw because it promotes fine motor skills, and that really is one of the things that we're teaching, like literally something we want them to improve on. And there's a tool for this that's digital, which is mind-blowing.
So if there are no more questions, again, parents, we thank you so much for being here. Thank you, families, for being here. Everyone has left their email addresses in the chat. So questions about Microsoft Teams, feel free to reach out to Ms. J, also known as Ms. Joksimovic. Questions regarding Seesaw, we'll reach out to Mr. Stevens or Ms. Freeman. And any general questions about the school, make sure that you reach out to us. The biggest part, I'm going to let Ms. Freeman take over, is we have to get feedback. So the way that we get better, through surveys. So Ms. Freeman, take it over.
I was trying to drop that. I'm sorry that it came off so weird. I'm so sorry that I tried to copy and paste it. Hopefully it came out normal. But this survey is to evaluate the effectiveness of the meeting. Did you feel like you learned something? What could we have what did you like? What could we have done better? What would you like to see included? As well as any other additional workshops that you all would like to possibly see us do in the future. Let us know if you like this virtual, how you're enjoying this virtual, if it's at a convenient time. And hopefully you're enjoying that they're being recorded so that you can preview them later. There's also a QR code that you can scan to get to that same link. And I will also post it on Class Dojo with the video. And I want to thank you all again for your time. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Thank you, Ms. J. Thank you all so much for doing this for us. And I learned a lot. And if there are no further questions, you all please have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning.
One clarifying question. Is this considered the technology workshop in the survey?
It will be, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It does give you the option. So yes, it will be the technology survey. It's a drop-down menu.
All right. Thank you guys again for your time. And again, teachers, thank you. You were rock stars, and that was absolutely amazing.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Freeman, for putting it together.
Absolutely. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good one.